If you don't remember this guy, it's probably because he's a fading dream. After a rocky start in the early 1980s, console gaming was beginning to catch on. In order to gain more notoriety, game producers started getting endorsements from prominent athletes for their games. Among some of the titles seen on the NES were Lee Trevino's Fighting Golf, Bill Elliott's NASCAR Challenge, and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Released by Nintendo of America in 1987, this NES title is actually an envisioning of the arcade Punch-Out! Released by Nintendo in 1984, and Super Punch-Out! Released in 1985. While visually similar to the arcade duo, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Has slight differences. Gone is the uppercut cross system from the arcade and wireframe look of Little Mac, replaced by stars and a fully colored boxer. Most of the fighters made it over to the NES version. Add to that the slightly reduced level of difficulty, and you have a game that could easily be called a home arcade game. The story is simple. You play the role of an up-and-coming boxer in the World Video Boxing Association, Little Mac. Together with your trainer, Doc Lewis, you will have to scrap and claw your way through the ranks of 3 tough circuits in order to face the world champion, Super Macho Man. I bet you're thinking, wait, Super Macho Man is the final fighter? Then why is Tyson waiting for my challenge? You see, once you defeat Super Macho Man and become the world champion, Little Mac will move on to the Dream Fight with Mike Tyson. Or Mr. Dream, if you have that copy of the game. The control scheme for Punch-Out! Is much the same as it was in the arcade. The B and A buttons replace left and right buttons, respectively. Press the punch button with the control neutral for a body blow, or while holding up for a blow to the face. Stars replace the power punch meter, and the start button unleashes the fury. Little Mac can dodge left and right by pressing the D-pad in those directions, guard by holding down, and duck by pressing down twice rapidly. Using these techniques with precision, along with rapid reflexes, are the key to victory. In your quest for the championship belt, you will fight through 3 circuits: Minor, Major, and World. After defeating the champ in the first 2 circuits, you will be given a training montage, like this one. At the end of the montage is a 10-digit code which you can use to continue your boxing career. Curiously, this is the same length as a phone number. I wonder if the old Nintendo hotline still works. Damn, always busy when I need help with a game. Not to worry. Once you get used to the patterns of the boxers, the rest is just finger speed. The controls are easy and responsive. Granted, when I first played this game, I was 9, so this was a familiar sight. But if you don't give up, you can get good at this game quick. The game is not long in playtime, which makes it perfect for a respite from a long MMO or console RPG run. The characters are fun, their special moves are interesting, and you get to face Iron Mike Tyson, or Mr. Dream, if you got your copy of the game after 1990, when Tyson's endorsement deal ran out and he was no longer the champ. All in all, regardless of which incarnation of NES Punch-Out you play, you will have fun for the 30 minutes or so you will be playing. Granted, you could get better graphics from the Wii Punch-Out, but that is not what this review is about. NES Punch-Out remains a staple game in terms of reflexes and finger speed, and is the perfect game for the player who wants to develop or hone these skills without having to play a first-person shooter or MMO. So in the end, this game has everything it needs to be a good title to return to. Even for the player who has defeated Mike Tyson, this game will still bring back enough good memories and frustration for a good diversion. After all, if a game isn't fun, then it isn't worth playing in the first place. Trust me, this game was a knockout in its day, and worth every penny to get into your library even now. If you only play it 5 times a year, you'd lose about 3 hours of your life to it, but I guarantee that those 3 hours will be enjoyable. If you're old enough to know who Mike Tyson is, then you should also be old enough to have this title with his mug. If not, try to find the endorsed version, but don't feel miffed if you have to settle for the non-endorsed version. The only difference is the skin tone of the fighter in the dream fight at the end.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power.